welcome to the show. Welcome. How are you feeling today?
It's a great day. Happy hump day.
Okay, almost the weekend. Yeah. Do you have any plans coming up?
I have plans. This Saturday, I will be participating in our SALT meeting, which is for leadership members at my church, New Life Covenant in Humboldt Park. So that's pretty cool.
Okay. So is this like a diverse church? Is this like one of those non-denominational churches or?
You know what? I thought it was, but it actually is. I don't even know. Ooh, that's sad. AG, Assemblies of God. Okay. I had no earthly idea. I thought it was non-denominational, but actually it's an Assemblies of God.
Is that the same thing as non-denominational?
I should know, huh? Because I go to the church. Sorry. Hope you're not watching, Pastor.
Okay. That's fair. That's okay. It happens to the best of us. Don't feel bad about that. Yeah. So I know you grew up in Detroit from 0 until like 10, 11, and then you guys moved to Houston, Texas, right? And what was that like growing up in Detroit and then moving from Detroit to Houston? That must have been crazy.
I'm going to tell you my story. So growing up in Detroit was pretty cool. I can say that is a place in which you're going to see all them seasons. You know, we definitely had a winter. Very noticeable. Everyone knew about that. We had a lot of fun playing in the snow. My mom did multiple times left my dad. And so when she wanted to get away for the last time, what she ended up doing was moving to Houston. And one of my very vivid, memorable moments is when I arrived at the airport and coming from Detroit, having a all-black community, all black school, all black, grocery store, all black churches. Like that's what we, grew up with. When I got off the flight and met my mom with the rest of my sisters, I was very distracted by all of these white people. Oh my goodness, like they were everywhere. I literally was like, oh my, I just kept looking. I was like looking up like, oh my God. But it was just a overabundance of people who did not look like me and that culture shock that I went through, like looking at this. So yeah, that was my most memorable moment when I got off of that plane and said, oh my goodness, they're real. They're not just on TV. They're not just actors. There are people who have all white neighborhoods anyway. So yeah, that was a culture shock for me. But, eventually my mom, ended up moving us to a very diverse community. And I was prepared at that point. I was prepared. Yeah.
How do you get prepared for that? How does one prepare?
It's anything you do of repetition, being in communities with people of the same or different cultures. It just, over time you become desensitized. That was a definite shock for me coming off that plane and seeing people of so many people that don't look like me.
So, what did you feel a sense of community in Houston?
I actually do. I do. So when I was in Houston, they teased me for sounding like I was from Detroit. I ended up going back to Detroit. Very rough childhood. I can just tell you, I got kicked out when I was 15. And so we were living out of my mom's house. Me and my sister, yeah. And so we ended up having our own apartment. I've been working since I was 13. I'm a very good salesman, by the way. I could sell you anyway. I could sell an Eskimo some ice. Like that's how good I was. So, but so we ended up having our own apartment. And so
you had to get your own apartment at 15.
It wasn't legal. Hello, somebody. So, my mom, there was just like a little breakdown with my sister. I jumped in there. She, kicked both of us out. And the person that I was working with at the time, I was a door-to-door salesman with a newspaper. And, he took us in that night, was like, you make so much money, doing these sales, you could have your own apartment. I was like, cool. So the next day, his wife went and got an apartment, in our name, but not legal.
She co-signed it?
Yeah. And so, that
was really dope of them, though.
That was. Also illegal.
Yeah.
And so we got found out. And yeah, she was arrested. Anyway, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Anyway, I felt community more so in Houston than I did in Detroit. And that was because I believe you maintain a lot of information, or when you reminisce from the time like you're 12, 13, you know what I mean? Like those days when you're out playing under the street light and, doing the dance contest and things like that. And so I had that experience in Houston. And so the friends, they weren't my friends, my sister's friends. And, I went out there, to kind of play with them. That helped me build that sense of community. And so that's where my sisters ended up having all of their children. I can say this. I remember this it was so wild. I remember saying, no matter what happens, I never want to have my child in Texas. I never want to say my child was born in Houston, Texas.
Whoa.
And my son was born in Houston, Texas. So let me just say that did happen. And he don't care, but now he's in Chicago. But yeah, that was the one thing in my head. I was like, I do not want anyone to ever say they were born in Houston, Texas. So when I was in Houston, because when I went back to Detroit, they teased me. They were like, you got a hat and a straw, and what are y'all doing down in Texas rolling the hay? And it was just so bizarre. And that was my family, so it was consistent at all that constant, like, it wasn't bullying, but they were like playing all the time. So it was like the stigma in my head of what Texas is, which they not far from it. Like they said everything but digging oil, you know what I mean? Like everything but striking oil came out of their mouth. So yeah, I just having that stigma of, Texas and how I sounded. And, I don't know, didn't want to say that I had my son in Texas. And I did. And I survived,
Were you upset? Like, man.
I mean, you didn't think of it. That was your childhood. I don't want to. And, when you get older, it's like, who cares? I didn't even really realize I'm still in Houston. You just live life. I really didn't realize that. Yeah. So it all worked out the way that it was supposed to. He ended up being in Chicago. So he can say I was born in Houston, but I live in Chicago. And so he loves his friends now. He's making his moments even now. From when he was 13, he was, here. So yeah, this is going to be the place that probably is seared in his head for the rest of his life. Like, this is his childhood.
Okay, so who would you say is the most influential person in your life?
Yes, we're going to land on this one real quick. Miss Carol. Shout out to you, Miss Carol Johnson. So I feel like the reason why I would say she's most influential, again, I've had other people speak into my life, help me through, hard times. People have traded places, but right now, as it stands, she is the most influential person in my life because of the experience of this drug activity, living in an underserved community. I met her at church, and we just kind of hit the ground running once we started connecting. And I had no earthly idea that she had all of this experience to help guide me through. I was an emotional wreck. I had no idea what it felt like, looked like. The experience of having someone outside your house selling drugs, like gunshots and loud music and, drinking all night and smoking weed and just, I just had no earthly idea how to navigate through that. And so she really helped me through the process.
That's amazing. So she works in the community?
So she did a lot of work with CPS. Then she ended up, I think, volunteering for Garfield Park. Advisory council, but she does a lot, like 1865 Fest and Juneteenth, so I work with her on that, just assisting her wherever I can. She does a lot in the community. She's a community-minded person.
Okay, shout out to Miss Carol. Yes, I love that. So we're now in the part of the show where we finish the movie, or we guess the movie quote. I'm going to give you a movie quote from a Black movie, okay, and then you're going to guess which movie that movie quote is from. Okay. Right? I know you said your favorite genre is documentaries, right? Yes. So you might struggle a little bit, but no worries, right? Everyone struggles, right? Everybody that has come before you and sat in that seat, they all kind of struggled, and they probably watch more Black cinema than you do. Okay. So no worries. Hopefully you get one of these. God. That's the goal.
God, help me. Okay, let's go.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So I must try to start off with something slight. You ready?
I'm ready. As ready can be.
Okay. You told Harpo to beat me.
Oh, come on. I know that one. The girl of purple.
Yes, okay.
There is a God.
He doing what he gonna do. You know, talking about a little sprinkle.
I only asked for one, so thank you, Jesus. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Okay, we have 3 more.
3 more. Okay.
Yes. You ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Yo, yoo-hoo, Wayman.
What?
Yoo-hoo, Wayman.
I don't think I know that one. I knew I wasn't black. I just knew I wasn't.
Okay, I will give you clues.
Okay.
No worries.
Okay.
One of the Wayans brothers stars in this movie.
Well, I know I got that from Wayman. I just don't know. Is this the one where he pretended he was a white girl?
No.
Well, I don't know that.
Jada Pinkett Smith played in this movie as well.
Oh, I know that one. I know that movie. I know it, but I just can't say it. But I know the movie. I know it. Jada Pinkett Smith. Oh, God. I don't know the name of the movie, though. Oh, my God.
Shame.
Is that the name of the doggone movie?
It's a part of it. I'm still giving you clues. You want me to give you the answer?
Yes.
A low down, dirty shame.
Why did I not?
Did you?
I did see the movie.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
I saw the movie.
Questionable. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Francesca, Frankie Sutton. I know you out of money by now, Cleo. Now what you gonna do? So, okay, actually the quote goes, I know you out of money by now, Cleo. So now what you gonna do?
Is that?
But I did just give you a hint.
Night. Oh. Harlem Nights? It's not. Okay. No. Oh, Lord. No.
Vivica A. Fox plays in this.
Oh. The only one I watched with her that she did was when he cheated, or wait, they broke up and they were trying to get back together. And okay.
Oh,
you don't know
Two
that
can
movie?
Play that game?
Two can play that game. That's the only one.
I'd be excellent to play. Okay, boom. My personal shero, she always finds a way to get into the episode. Queen Latifah is in this movie as well. They were like sitting on the roof and they're like, man, before that place shut down, they was paying people $15 an hour over there. I'd have been a yes sir. Okay, that's okay. Set it off.
I don't know that movie.
You never?
No. Am I not black? Am I? Tell me now.
I don't want to say you're not
now.
black because I don't know if I have the power to take black cards.
Okay.
But I will say there are some questions.
Okay.
Okay. There are some question
That's
marks
okay.
by your face.
That's okay.
By your name.
That's okay.
Elise. Question mark. I'm just playing. Okay. Boom. Last one. You may not get this.
I'm definitely not gonna get this if I didn't get the other two. I mean, come on. I don't even know why he's still playing. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Miss Hughes, what page 15 on?
Wow, but I know this. Like, seriously? Why would I know this?
She's class. Please turn to page 15. Miss Hughes.
Mr.
What page 15 on?
Now that is actually funny. I don't know the movie. I don't know which one's funnier, that I don't know the movie or the line from the movie was funny. I don't know. But I do know. Was that my clue?
Do you want me to give you more clues or would you?
No, because I'm not going to get the movie. Because I don't know that movie.
The Wood.
I don't know that movie.
It was such a good movie. Such a good movie. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. You did get one.
I got one. That's all I asked. That's all I asked for.
Super strong. Give me some. Don't do that. Yes, you did a good job. Period.
That's all I asked. I should have asked for more, but anyway.
True, but hey, one is more than enough. You got what? 1 out of 4? That's not bad. That's a quarter. You ain't do bad at all. So, how did you hear about CLF?
Oh, I heard about CLF. So I was a part of Jermaine Harris's. He had a block club president, still does, and so he mentioned it there. Alex did come in. She made an appearance. I didn't even think I was not going to apply. I wasn't. I'm glad that I did.
This has been us.
I would have missed, honestly, big time on this program. But I was not going to apply. I did not think, is this for me? Like, I did not know. I just, especially when it's like you gotta actually apply and then go through a whole interview and like the cred. I was like, oh no, that's just like they probably not gonna pick me. And so I almost canceled myself out and talked myself out of it. But I'm glad I threw my name in that hat. And so very grateful to have met everybody. I literally have a good opinion about all of the work that everybody from CLF is doing. It's phenomenal.
Agreed. So, what made you change your mind? So, what convinced you to actually apply?
I think it was having a conversation with Lieutenant Harris.
He is relentless.
He
Love
is.
him.
I had a conversation with him. I also had a conversation with Alex. I just said, I don't know, should I apply? She was like, what? Like, you hadn't applied yet? So I did reach out to both of them. And then I read through the questions and said, maybe I could answer this. It's not so bad. Like, yeah, I may be a strong, possibility. So that's what made me change my mind. Having conversations with the both of them and then actually reading through the questionnaire that they had for the application process. I felt like, okay, I could do this.
So, how has your experience been so far as a fellow?
I can tell you, hands down, this is like one of my probably most memorable experiences that I have had. I've been challenged. I feel like I have learned from everyone, both young and old. Or am I the oldest? I don't know. But anyway, I feel like I've taken something from everybody. I've even learned from the silence of, even Alex, he and I kind of this last thing that we did, the networking or whatever, we sat down and, we're talking with the different guests that were there. And I just learned so much about him. And so it's like I've learned from everyone. And I don't think I'll forget it.
Oh, I love
I don't think so. Yeah.
You guys are all amazing. You guys are doing amazing work in each of your
Agreed.
communities,
Agreed.
making changes.
Yeah.
You are definitely sitting in a room with some amazing
Yeah,
people. Like, for
absolutely.
sure, I agree
Absolutely.
with that. Tell me a little bit about the work that you do.
So I started off, even when I thought about it, being a block club president and how that came about, me just, knocking on doors, telling people, what are you doing? Just letting people sell drugs on your street. Like, I did not understand that process. But again, you have to know the history of it, knowing that these people have been, going through it for years and just thought nothing, good would come out of organizing and kind of go against that. But, even before I did that, I really started taking inventory of like some of what I have been doing throughout my whole life. I've been doing that the whole time. Like when I first got saved, came to know the Lord, I created this big Bible study. When I got to, United Airlines, which back then was Continental, I brought these group of women together. When I, like everywhere that I went, I like always organized a small group together, just because that was my community. I don't do well in like big, crowds. And so the work in which I see now myself doing is just like a springboard from all of that quote unquote organizing and gathering people and bringing them together. And, I am a block club president, but I'm telling you what I've been created to do is bring women together and help rehabilitate them. Those who the world has forgotten about, those women who have gone to prison, who may, have a record and not have a trade or a skill or, think in which they could, survive and make a footprint or a fingerprint in this world. Those are the women that I want to work with. I want to make sure that they know, what they've been created to do and that I start them on that path of doing it. So Drawn Out Ministries is definitely calling. That's a calling that I've been called to. That when I was ministering in jails, I kept seeing the same people over and over. And it's because they're getting out of jail and people are just like dropping them back off in the same spot that they picked them up. Yeah. And you're not giving them options. You're not, broadening or opening up their mind and letting them see different things and figure out what their niche is. And so, yeah, that lived experience, even though it was kind of brief, that led me to like have compassion, because when I was in there, I was talking to all these women. Seeing all of their different situations and how they got there, the hopelessness, and they felt as if this is their life. Anyway, so yeah, that's what landed me on Drawn Out Ministries. So I'm very grateful. I've been called to do it.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about some projects that you've worked on in the past.
In the past, oh, wow. So I was also the chair for the African American Black Affairs for United Airlines. That was another a role in which I had to play the, not community organizing, but, corporate America organizing. Like, it's where you have to get people it's not their 9 to 5 job. They're not getting paid to do this, to donate their time to do these different events and bring about issues or address issues to change the Black experience within corporate America. So I have done a lot. Okay, so the first thing in which I worked on was an MLK event. And what I was told from that event was MLK is a very low attended event. And so, you won't get a lot of participation. I said, okay, that's fine. But I searched, I mean, far and wide. I mean, however that saying is, I got all of the key players. Timio Black, if you don't know him, then he is an activist. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a panel of different generations, different eras, like represented on this panel, and we were going to talk about the journey of MLK and what that looks like today, and what would he think we were doing and would he approve. And so we had a lot of people who have actually known Martin Luther King Jr. They were on the panel, and then we had this new era of people that were also on the panel. So that event that they said is never well attended was out the door. It was out the door. We had to turn people away. And yeah, it was huge. So that gave me a sense of confidence in going into the very next event. So that's some of the another thing in which I did. I'm from Texas. Like, so Juneteenth is just like a whole nother holiday, that we do, in America. And when I got here to Chicago, y'all didn't know about Juneteenth.
Also was something that you guys were already celebrating. Yeah, it was new to us.
It was very new. And so me being the chair for, Black Affairs within United Airlines, one of the people in my subcommittee, she was like, we can do it for Juneteenth. I'm like, man, is United Airlines ready for this? So we did. That was our very first event. And so now they celebrate Juneteenth all the time within United Airlines because of that very first event in which we did. But even the Black people did not know about Juneteenth. So yeah, that's just some of the things in which I'm working on. The thing in which I'm working on now, which I feel like we're having a hard time getting it off the ground just because we're all busy. Me now being an elected official, hello. Okay. But anyway, a few other people in the group also have their plates full. But it's the Bring Back Black Chicago, and so the Bring Back Black Chicago really focuses on the fact that Black people are kind of being pushed out because of taxes. We really looked at all of the reasons in which Black people left. It's this big, I don't know if you know about it, Black flight. Mm-hmm. And so that's, our Black Chicagoans are going to suburbs or really to other states. And the reason why they're doing it is because, our school systems aren't, up to par. Like, we don't get the best education for our children in our neighborhoods. There's a lack of community development in our, underserved communities. We don't have that. And public safety, so our children, are dying left and right in the streets of Chicago. So this Bring Back Black Chicago is like fixing those things that caused us to leave in the first place. And so that is something that we are probably going to spend a little bit more attention on once we get this new mayor in place, get him, sworn in, and we're going to, present this before him and then, just get to work.
Okay. So you are a newly elected official. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about that. How'd you find out about it and kind of your journey into it?
Lucretia. Let me just say that. Shout out to Lucretia. So when the role was first introduced to me, And to all the other people who were in my alderman's meeting, I was like, yeah, that's not something I would want to do. I don't know why somebody would want to do that. Like, it doesn't make sense. Who would want to do something like that? And so, a little bit later, so I think she did it at the beginning of the year last year. That's how she was announcing things that are coming down the pipeline. And so then we did this whole COF, and I'm in this program with Lucretia, and she was like, you ought to think about doing it. And every time I talked to her, I was like, yeah, I would. You're right. And I'd hang up the phone like, I do not want to do that. Like, who in the world? Like, I kept saying that, Miss Carol, hey. She was like, well, go with your first bond if that's not what you want to do. I'm like, it's not. Like, I do not want to be an elected official. But then I get back on the phone with Lucretia. Like, this woman was relentless. And she's like, Elise, I'm telling you, even with the drawn out ministry, something that you want to do, you're going to make connections with people. This is going to be like this. You're addressing the very same thing that you're doing right now as a Block Club president. You're already doing the job. And I was like, she kind of right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, over time, I did, start making those connections, drawing the, putting the lines between the dots. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Let me just go for it. And I said, well, let me, put my name in the hat and kind of see where this goes. And here I am. And I love it, actually. I actually love, now we haven't officially gotten started. Like we just got sworn in yesterday, but the fact that I've met already the other district councils that are in here with me in the 11th district, and then met all of these other police district council who are across the districts, I just really feel like we will have some success. Now, will we have and address all of the issues in which each of our police districts, encounter? Probably not within, the first 4 years, but we'll definitely put a dent in it. That is 100%. I do believe we'll be successful.
Okay. So what's the official title?
Police District Council. I think police district, people say police district counselor. I don't like that. Police district council person, police district council woman. And I have settled on police district council woman.
Period.
But y'all can just call me Elise. But anyway.
Okay, so I know you briefly mentioned a new project that you're working on. Are you working on any other new projects?
I am working on a lot, actually. Seriously, low key. I just want to make sure this is still black. Low key. I feel like right now, and I've said this multiple times, I feel like I'm helping everyone else do their projects. I'm not really spending a lot of time on mine. And so after this year, I really will spend more time on what I have been called to do. Drawn out ministries have to be more than just something that we're doing virtually and on paper. Yeah. It's something that I really got to put, my hands to the plow to do. So I am helping with the 1865 Fest, which is, Juneteenth in Garfield Park. I am also a part of the, right now, Mayor's African American Engagement Council, which is what we did a segue into the Bring Back Black Chicago. I'm also helping put together, we were doing quarterly meetings with Superintendent Brown and the community. So I've been the, chair, of that, just bringing, everybody together. That's people in COPA and, OIG and the police department and, who else? I feel like I'm missing one person. But anyway, bringing all of these, individuals to talk about public safety. We've been doing that. So our next one is May the 22nd. If this doesn't air before then, people, please come out to support. It'll be at the Caron Center. But gosh, I just feel like I'm missing some things. It'll probably come to me later. But yeah, though, and I'm also part of West Side Rising. So I've not had the bandwidth to really address everything because I feel like my plate is busy with, I just have to kind of start clearing my plate and focus on what I've been called to do. So next year, you'll see a new Elise.
A new Elise. I love that. So you guys have an end of the year capstone project for CLF, right? So tell us a little bit about your event that's coming up.
So our event is not end of the year. Well, for us, I believe it's in June. And what we're doing, we're trying to really capture, the history for the West Side. That's what we're trying to do. There's so much rich history that belongs here, that is here that people don't know about. And so we're trying to connect the two, not just the rich history that has been there, but really highlight some of the work in which we have done as CLF fellows, and kind of tie the two. And so we are going to work on a documentary. That's what we're doing. So we're going to not only talk about, again, some of some of the historical places here on the West Side, but we'll talk about and kind of tie in what we're doing. Hopefully this will encourage some of the future fellows, give them certain ideas of not only themselves, but, for other leaders around them. There's more than one way to lead. There's more than one way to make an impact. And so, we're just going to share with you all of the different ways in which we have done it.
Do you have any future plans, or what are your future plans?
So my first and foremost, clear my plate. That is what I want to do. And I'm being honest about that. Like I have, I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot, but I feel like I'm supporting everyone else. And so nothing in which I need to be done is being highlighted. I'm not really creating and building the foundation of my own vision. And so I do want to start that. And so, I have my board members and, is it not board members? My, whatever that's called. It may be board members. I don't know. I'm probably getting a little confused, but we are going to talk about, ways in which we can move forward. I actually just, had a one-on-one with Keith. I can't remember his last name, Ellis. I can't remember his last name, but, he gave me some great ideas of how to, reach other people and have them give me great ideas as our board of, I think he said advisors, like an advisory board, and kind of bring people together that have already done the work. Like they've already hit the roadblocks in their own plans. And so they could tell you, hey, you may want to avoid this ditch. You may want to avoid that. I see that this is what you all are planning to do, but that may not work out the way in which you want. Hey, let me connect you with this person. And so that's what, for me, that's my next plan is, I love all of the work that I've done for everyone else. And I've actually loved the fact that they've given me space to help them with that. But I want to figure out a way to where I could not completely drop them. I don't want to do that. That's not how you treat people. That's not how you build bridges. And that's not how you develop relationships. I don't want to completely drop them, but I do want to take a step back and maybe not play such a key role in some of the things in which I'm doing and focus on, what I've been called to do.
Okay. A little self-care. Walking more into your own purpose.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
Do you have anything that you want the audience to walk away with?
Oh, gosh.
What would you want the audience to walk away with?
So, I mean, I'm on this self journey. Mm-hmm. That's what I really am. I'm going to tell you a very funny story. My goodness. I used to, answer the phones. It's called service recovery. Whenever, the airline had a cancellation, we had to call people in the middle of the night, let them know, hey, don't show up for your 6 a.m. flight. It may be 2:00 in the morning. And so I was making these phone calls and people kept hanging up on me. And I'm like, why are they hanging up on me? Like, I'm trying to help you. You know what I mean? I'm trying to help you. And then, I finally noticed I'm on mute. I'm calling people at 2:00 in the morning and not saying anything. So it's like sometimes you have to look at yourself. Yeah. It's like it's easy to always blame others for, what's not going right, not give people chances, but, focus on you. Like what is in your realm of influence or, around you that you could like change in order for you to make a better impact. So, that's I want everyone to walk away with that. That's something that I'm doing. I'm not trying to continue to point fingers at everyone else, but what are some things that I can do? Not to let people off the hook. If they've done wrong, they've done wrong. But what was my part in which I played? How can I, make amends? How can I, not repeat some of the bad, behavior? Because again, before we moved here to Chicago, before I moved in here to, West Humboldt Park, I had a different understanding of how things work. But now being here in this community, my mind has been opened and I see things differently. So, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Where can our audience find you online?
Ooh, I'm on Facebook, Elise Edwards. None of these are creative, let me tell you. Even though I'm creative, I did not get creative with my Facebook pages and all that. I'm on Instagram. I believe it's just Elise Edwards. I am on LinkedIn, Elise Edwards. Like, literally, I have a virtual business card. It is eliseedwards.com. And you'll find everything. You'll find my blog club website. You'll find my Drawn Out Ministries website. You'll find all of my social media platforms, phone number, and email address. So, yeah.
Okay, eliseedwards.com is where you can go and find out everything you want to know about Miss Elise. Yes, I love that. I really had a good time with you today.
Yeah,
I'm glad that we got to do this and I got to know a little bit more about you. I didn't know any of those things.
You didn't?
No, and I've sat with you for almost a year now in the various rooms for doing the CLF sessions and different things, and wow.
Yeah.
You're just a ball of amazingness. What a life you live, lady. Yes. I love that. I wish you well in everything you do moving forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Deanna. Again.
Thank you again for being here. All right.
Bye.
Later. If you enjoyed our show, please rate and review us on Google and Apple Podcasts. And be sure to come back next week to meet a few of our fellows. Until then, I'm your host, The Elegance Lane. And don't forget, live here, work here, lead here. For more information on CLF, please go to www.clfellows.org.
Hi, this is Alexandra August, Executive Director and co-founder of Community Leadership Fellows. I'd like to thank our advisors and seed investors who coached, mentored, and guided us through our exploratory year in order to make the investment in Westside Talent possible.